Hi everyone, Paolo here, and today's book of choice is Creating Magic, written by Lee Cockerell, who was the executive vice president for operations for Disney World Resort. So again, in this book, he summarizes the key Disney leadership principles which he has used to build a customer-centric organization, which has been used by multiple organizations to train their employees to build a culture similar to what Disney has successfully built. And as usual, I have my 5 key takeaways. Let's start with the first key takeaway, which is it's not the magic that makes it work, it's the work that makes it magic. So basically, what he's trying to say here, it's not by sheer luck, by a random event, that they were able to build a high performing culture, right? It was strategic, it was deliberate effort on their end to really build a culture who is very customer centric, who focuses on uh, over delivering the expectations of their customers. And of course, for you to be able to deliver a really great customer service, it really starts with the people of your organization. And because of this, you need to understand what are the core expectations of your employees. How can you build a high performing culture, which would eventually trickle down into a more customer centric approach from your employees? So, again, the 4 key expectations of employees is one, they need to feel special. Two is they need to be treated as individuals. Three is they need to be respected. And four is you need to give them with the right training and make them knowledgeable for them to succeed in this role. Again, these are the expectations that employees have from your organization. So as a leader, you need to make sure that you make them feel special, treat them as individuals, respect them, and of course, give them the proper training, right? By meeting these core expectations, you're able to produce high performing employees. The next one is the R.A.V.E and A.R.E method. So R.A.V.E stands for respect, appreciate, and value everyone, while A.R.E stands for appreciation, recognition, encouragement. Again, it's not only focusing on the customer, right? Before you're able to have a raving customer or a really happy and satisfied customer and a raving fan base, you first need to start with a really great leadership team, an excellent leadership team, which will trickle down to excellent employees and further down the line by resulting into happy customers. And this can be done by, of course, building a culture within your organization that has a high tolerance. I mean, high respect for one another. They make each and every person in the organization feel appreciated and important, and give recognition where it is due. So it does not need to be expensive, right, to have a culture who gives recognition, awards and whatnot. Making a person feel important to the organization or feel recognized can be as simple as writing a handwritten note, right? And other methods in the book that they use is they make it public. In a sense, they make recognition public, such as they have their annual awards, quarterly awards, but they also make it public, right? In They also make it private. What does that mean? So sometimes you also share the good deed of a person when he is not around, because when he's not around and the other people see that you are acknowledging his effort, tendency is the word would get out and he would indirectly receive the news, so it makes him happy, right? And lastly is, of course, make their family members involved. So what Disney did is whenever they have a big ceremony for awarding high performers or people who went over and above what was expected of them, they also involve the family, because a happy person at home would also be a happy and productive person in the workspace. So again, R.A.V.E and R method are give respect, appreciate, and value everyone. And R method is appreciate, recognize, and give continuously give encouragement. At best, try to do it on a daily basis, right? There's no such thing as giving too much compliments or giving too much words of encouragement. If you can apply it on a daily basis, it slowly becomes a habit and it's ingrained within your culture, right? The next one is the Take 5 rule. So I like this rule because in Disney they built, again, it's in their ingrained in their culture to create magical moments to each and every customer that enters their parks, their resorts, and so forth. So because of this, they were able to build this culture because they empowered their employees to create these, to make decisions on their own, to create these magical moments. So this is what they call the Take Five rule, which is in the Disney resort or theme park, for example, each cast member on a daily basis must spend at least 5 minutes to create magical moments. So again, this is a deliberate and conscious effort on each and every cast members, on each and every cast member. Basically, they in every day they look for 5 minute moments wherein they can create a magical experience to one child. For example, one example is, the cast members calling out a kid from the audience to open the park, right? To welcome everyone. Others is during the Disney parade, they can, pick one kid from the audience to make announcements during the parade. So again, these magical moments may seem small, but would be huge. Has a huge impact to the kid, to the parents, and eventually, if all of your cast members are consciously looking for these magical moments, consciously actively seeking out magical moments to create, it soon becomes ingrained in your culture. So again, that's a take five rule. Looking 5 minutes a day, looking for 5 minutes in a day to create magical moments. The next one is break the mold. So the reason why Disney has been so successful is because they're not afraid to break the mold. And one of the key decision uh, strategies that they use is whenever they need to decide to make a decision, they filter first, is the decision I'm about to make reversible or is it completely irreversible? Because if it's reversible, they're not stopped. They don't do over analysis paralysis, right? What they do, if it's reversible, they try it out, they test it, they iterate and make it better, right? They aren't afraid to pull the trigger and actually test and iterate. If it's irreversible, this is the time that they involve more people. They spend more thinking time to rationalize or justify the decision or the change. So again, I think it applies in any leader's mind. In making, when you're caught in terms of making a decision, you need to first filter out whether your decision is reversible or irreversible. If it's reversible, you can make decisions quicker. If it's irreversible, that's a time that you need to spend more time and effort, and clear your thoughts in before making the decision. And the last one is staying ahead of the pack. I like this quote that was highlighted by Lee. It says that in times of drastic change, it is the learners who inherit the future. The learned usually find a way to equip themselves to fit in a world that no longer exists. So I really like this quote, mainly because it's really about the constant push to improve yourself, to do things better. And I think this is ingrained in Disney's culture. One key example here is the shift to online, right? Disney has also adopted in making their content available online through Disney Plus, for example, to streaming services. They recognize that, a lot of the world is moving to a more digital space, a more digital environment. So how can Disney be relevant? How can they make their content, their movies, share the happiness experiences to people in an online setting? And this is one way of, um, you know, adapting to our current environment and staying ahead of the pack. So they've done this for multiple years, and that's why Disney still continues to be a hugely successful company. And with that, those are my 5 key takeaways. I hope you learned a lot from the book Creating Magic. It's a really great book. I definitely am excited to implement all of these learnings. And if you learned a lot, you'll learn a lot more if you visit youtube.com, search Paulo Balinas, and subscribe and like the other videos that I make. So again, I summarize a lot of books business books, nonfiction books in this YouTube channel. So again, stay tuned again next Sunday with that. Thank you and have a great day. See you again next Sunday for my next book summary.